Do you like basketball? Basketball, no. Mm-hmm. I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast, the only NBA podcast. What's the tagline today, Mr. Escobar?
That brings sunshine on a rainy day.
Oh, okay.
Was
the
that
only
cool,
NBA
guys?
podcast that controls the weather. All right.
Oh, okay.
Hey. Yeah, that's what they never tell you. People are like, the government, they have a machine that makes hurricanes. Government doesn't have that shit. We do.
Hey, and so does my ex-wife, because she could put a fucking rain cloud over my fucking head any fucking day.
Oh, my God.
Guys, comment if that's relatable, too.
Guys,
It's an interactive episode.
Pablo's going through a pretty nasty divorce right now. It's getting dragged out in the courts. He doesn't want custody, but she's trying to force it onto him. They're fighting over who gets to leave the kids. Pretty much, it's kind of nasty.
Yeah, hey, but it's not my fault. They got her fucking face. That's not my fucking problem.
Wow. Okay. I'm your host Jack, aka Jokic Joestar.
Been listening to a ton of Adam Carolla, by the way. No.
Who's Adam Carolla?
He's like one of the OG podcasters, and I think he went far right.
Oh.
But I think he's like a divorced guy.
Okay. I've been listening to a lot of who's like the poster child for like divorced celebrities. I'm trying to think. Because all the ones that I'm thinking of are like
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, but like it's Tom. I'm thinking like Tom Cruise or Ben Affleck or whoever. But like that's not approachable. There's still Ben Affleck. Like it's like one of the most handsome guys in the world. I'm trying to think of like a regular guy who got divorced.
I might have seen Ben Affleck a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you know what was crazy? I went to see. I think I went to see. Oh, I can't remember what movie it was, but I went to see it with my girlfriend, and in front of me in line, nobody else was around. I was waiting to get popcorn. Patton Oswalt was in front of me in the movie line.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't ask him about it or anything, but I just heard him say, well, I have a smart water. And I was like, oh my God, that's obviously, it's Remy from Ratatouille is in front of me in line right now. And so I never meet famous people. So that was cool that I had like one, close call at least.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had anything like that. Would you cry if Patton Oswalt died?
No. I don't have that much emotionally invested into his works. I don't know. There's not that many people I would straight up cry if they died. There's a lot of people I'd be like, what? And like, I would need to like sit down for a second and be like, damn, dude. But crying,
Okay, then could you say publicly for everybody? Could you say these words? I am not a threat to Patton Oswalt, because it just comes off a little.
Oh yeah, I'm not a threat to Patton Oswalt. Yeah, I like the guy. It's not like I don't have beef with him or anything. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Who would I cry if they died? I have no idea. I don't have one off the top of my head.
What if Jokic died? Plane crash, Serbia.
He might get a single tear from me, just in terms of like overwhelmed by emotion, but I don't know.
And just issue a statement for.
I'm not a threat to anybody at all. This is a.
Specify.
I wanted on the right Jokic specifically, but anybody in the world. I'm not a threat
the words.
to.
I am not a threat to
Nikola Jokic, okay. But also.
I am not a threat to Dua Lipa.
I'm not a threat to Dua Lipa. Anybody, any sort of transportation, everything that's ever been said on this podcast is comedy. It's comedy satire podcast. I just want that fully firmly on the record before I leave the country. I don't need to be rolling the dice with anything like that.
Oh, okay. You think they're gonna?
Well, it would piss me off. I'd be
Hassan
like, guys.
Piker follows you on TikTok. What's that about?
And I'd be like, he is literally on my dick all the time. He's like, yo, let's hang out. Come on the stream. What's up, dude? You want to play Ninja Swords with me? And I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Will you? What if they pull you in? They're like, denounce Hamas real quick, and you'll go through.
Get a video camera right in front of me. Yep. Fuck with Netanyahu. my guy. I'm sorry, bro.
checking the watch. He's the GOAT. Let me through.
Got a plane to catch. Yeah. We got a full episode of some real ESPN first take type shit today. But
I've got ESPN on right in front of me. I'm watching Miles Turner talk to Malika Andrews. He's one of 6 players to play 10-plus seasons with the Pacers since the team joined the NBA in 1976-77 on the 200th year anniversary of the USA.
They're a cool team, the Pacers. One of those weird, like, middle old teams where it's not like they're like the Timberwolves and they've been around for 20 minutes or like the Heat or something. But then they're not like the Celtics where they've been around since the dawn of time. They're older than the Appalachian Mountains or something. So, yeah, the Pacers are neat. I saw a clip, Gilbert Arenas talking about Karl Anthony Towns' high hips, and he said he was built like a bitch. Did you see that clip?
Yeah.
How's that make you feel?
It's just Gilbert Arenas. That's just how he is. He says the most. He says odd things. It's a very odd way to describe someone.
He's built like a girl. He's built like a bussy, beautiful woman. It's like,
Yeah, he's getting a little fired up for Pride Month. He's like, maybe I need to get in on this.
I don't know. I was thinking about it. The stuff that Gilbert Arenas like believe, because like the shit he says in public, it's insane. It's like, I don't know, like a political person's career in 2008 would be ruined saying some of the stuff that he just like casually off the cuff drops on air. So like the stuff he believes in private, I would love to have just like a full download of his brain just to see like the shit he scrolls past on Twitter. And, like, at a glance, it's like, yep, that's true. Look at the skull shape. Obviously, that's a woman. Something like that. Like, I don't know.
You know what's funny is he actually had a pro-trans take a little while back where he talked about his does he have multiple kids? I don't know. But he definitely has either way, his kid played I think he must have daughters, right?
Okay.
I think his daughter competed against some trans athletes, and he's like, everyone was making a stink. The parents were freaking out. Everyone was making a huge deal of it. He's like, they were ass. They couldn't do anything. They were just tall. They were ass. He's like, let them play or something like that. I think his overall tone was pro-trans. Maybe I haven't seen the clip in a long time, but I was like, oh, a little broken clock over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's good. Of all the issues that you could end up being right on, that's a pretty good one, I guess. Like, at least it's something that we like haven't litigated already. It'd be annoying if like he was just like anti-racism or something. Like everybody knows racism is bad at this point. Besides racist people, I guess. Yeah,
and I guess it's only half the equation. So he defended trans people's rights to be bad at sports, but if they were good. If someone came and they were good, would he be upset? I don't know.
Smoked his daughter. Just like, that's the record. Yeah. Oh man.
If his daughter was in high school swimming and she went from 8th place to 9th place, maybe he'd feel differently.
I hate that lady.
Riley Gaines.
Yeah. I mean, truly, just such like we have a dumb, ridiculous, pointless, fake job. And, like, I want that on the record. Our job, it's not real. If this was a communist society, we'd be like, oh, I thought I was going to be a sports podcaster. No, we're going to the mines, baby. But, like... Not me. I'd be a pastry chef at the bookshop thrift store. Oh, the lesbian dialectic book. Okay. Well, I guess it couldn't be lesbian.
Yeah, I can work with lesbians. I've seen Orphan Black.
What's that?
Should just a show that me and all the lesbians like.
I've never. You are pretty tapped into. Well, you're just girly stuff. Not.
I'm pretty lesbian adjacent.
I guess. I mean, I don't have any authority to speak on any of that. All I saw recently, Claro came out in defense of her boy fans on Twitter yesterday. So
I saw that.
It's a big dub
she said,
for
you
us.
You guys are weird. I don't. Is she defending her boy fans, or is she like, leave me out of your freaky tropes? Leave me out of your classifying people into these groups.
Probably the second one, but. Hey, same with Gilbert Arenas. She a broken clock. Now she's on the right side of the
Clara.
boys liking pop music thing, which is an
First
equally,
good Claro tag.
which is an equally important issue in the modern age. Is that boys who like, Olivia Rodrigo or whatever, marginalized community.
I'm seeing a Cracker Barrel commercial on my TV. Oh, okay.
I've never been to Cracker Barrel.
I've been once. They had excellent French toast.
There was a couple of girls who I went to like high school with.
Couple of crackers.
Yes. Well, actually, one of them was a black woman.
Okay.
And so they both worked at the only Cracker Barrel in the city was like out on the interstate where like either old people would make it out there for whatever old people specials Cracker Barrel has going on, or like truck driver been awake for 72 hours comes like following through the front door being like, give me 100 pancakes or something.
Nice.
And they both made it sound terrible.
Now that's what I could do in the communist society. I could be the truck driver who's on the road and only eating pancakes.
I could run the radio in the truck. I could do that. Just never ask me to park it or move it or make a turn in the truck.
Yeah.
So I'll be the interstate truck guy. And then I'll hand it off on city limits to a city truck guy, and he makes all the turns and like he parks it, he backs it up to like get the cargo on and off. Me, I just drive in a straight line on the interstate.
But what about Cracker Barrel?
You brought it up.
I thought you had more to your story.
Well, I've never been. They said it sucked.
Oh, they said it's... Well, they work there. Because people work at Pizza Hut. It'll be like, Pizza Hut sucks. And then you have Pizza Hut, and you're like, obviously this fucking rocks.
Nobody at Pizza's the Hut.
Nobody. And they'll be like, oh, we put roaches in the pizza. We're
Come
pooping in the
on,
pizza. I don't care.
I
brother.
ordered that. Come on, dude. You didn't know I'm
If
part.
that's
I'm
what
spider.
made-
I'm part spider.
It's the Fairly Odd Parents where they make the lemonade with Cosmo's sweaty socks.
I do have a vague recollection of this. Yes.
Yeah, it's like that for the Pizza the Hut.
Oh, okay. Damn.
I saw a former Pizza Hut yesterday.
What was it turned into?
It was vacant. So
That's
we'll
sad.
we'll see. Well, we need more stuff like that. We need more buildings that are specifically shaped.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not. It's not profitable to do anything. It's more profit. I made this building out of cardboard and glass, and if I spit on it, it'll fall over.
You could shape it into like a hat, something funny. Ooh, I'm watching a Sean Kemp lob finish.
Okay, how's he doing?
He's running up celebrate. I wonder what we're doing here. It might be top of the top. All right, so it's the top alley-oops ever. So now we have DeAndre Ayton, the valley oop.
Oh my God.
That was a pretty good one.
Hey, shout out to dominating.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming the Giannis one is going to be ahead of this one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who's number 3? LeBron. Which one? It's Cavs LeBron. Okay, he got really high up on this one. It was against the Wizards. I don't know if you remember that. I really don't know if I remember this specifically. His head is at the rim.
Which kind of Cavs LeBron? Are we talking like...
First Cavs. OG.
OG Cavs. So yeah, he jumped 40 feet in the air on this, I assume.
Oh, number 2 is the Kobe to Shaq one, the famous one.
Yeah, Giannis has to be number 1. It's weird because like alley-oops are this play. I feel like it matters because it's cool. But then like we're doing this list based on like how historically significant they are. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, number 1 is Drew to Giannis. This was crazy. I can't believe he finished that.
I can't
Chris Paul
believe
was trying to kill him.
I know. I watched it the other day, and that's like in real time. That was my takeaway from the play. But even on rewatch, it's like, dude, Chris Paul should be excommunicated for this play. Like it's a full speed fast break. He sees Giannis go up in the air, and he does like a Grayson Allen level undercut on him. Like if he did
not grab that rim, he was going into the nosebleeds.
Yeah. And this was a guy, I mean, I guess his back acted up a few years after that, but I don't know. When you're that big and strong, I feel like the back's always like a scary thing. And so, yeah, I mean,
Whoa, with Giannis?
yeah. Like if he had I assume that's how he was going to fall. I feel like that's how guys always get undercut, is they either land like they hit their head or they land on their back. And then, I get scared about that. But yeah.
I think he would have landed on his neck vertebrae crack, and he ends his career.
Whoa. And Chris
Wow.
Paul wins his first ring.
That used to happen in Madden. Like your quarterback would be tackled, and then you'd check the injury report later. It'd be like his career's over. He's done.
Dead.
He's
They
over.
fucking killed this. They killed him. It's crazy
They
that
got
DeMar
him.
Hamlin died and came like. I was thinking about that the other day too. Like. That was all. It is a historically significant thing, but it was almost like one of the defining moments of like broadcasting for this century.
Where were you when that happened? I know where I was.
I don't remember specifically where I was.
I was at Chili's.
Oh, did you see it on
Good,
the TV?
Good day for me. Yeah.
For me.
I didn't see it live, but yeah.
I remember my girlfriend's mom texted in their family's group chat and was like, "Oh my gosh, guys, pray," or something. And I was like, "What? What happened?"
It's crazy because every day someone's having the worst day of their life, but also every day someone's at Chili's having a blast.
Dude, I've been trying to make it out to Chili's. There's not one immediate. It's hard for me to access Chili's, but I get a lot of their commercials on like my YouTube and shit, and I'm just like, damn.
Is there Chili's in Chicago?
This looks like such a great deal. It looks like so good value, and the food in the commercials looks great. I'm sure when you go, it's probably worse, but whatever.
No, it's a blast. Yeah, there's not really one in Chicago. It's all the way out, but yeah, Chili's is a banger. But DeMar Hamlin is like, he died on the field and came back to life, and then two things happened that were crazy. People hated on him. They're like, he sucks. He's only has the job still because he died. He's token dead guy.
D guy.
Yeah, he's dead in inclusiveness. And then
LGBTQIA plus D. Come in, it's like just DeMar Hamlin.
And he's like still starting for them. Like,
is he good?
And so I think he's just like rotation guy, but like it's something. But so people hated on him for that. And then number two, people are like, he's cloned. They got him. They got to him. He's cloned.
That's my favorite. I love it. Just like
they'll say anyone's cloned.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It's like why who's
what's the master
running
plan?
this? Yeah, like who's in charge of the cloning? And like Gucci Mane comes out of prison, clone, one of the most famous.
That
clones
one made
of all
more
time.
sense, though. Yeah.
Well, like it makes less sense to me because they're like, this is the most advanced government lab in the world, and they accidentally made him fucking shredded instead of fat. Like when he went into prison, they cloned him and he's super ripped, and you can't make a third
that's like
one.
super Gucci. That made sense. We made him better. We recreated him. But DeMar Hamlin, like what listen, Gucci Mane can change the world.
Yes.
What could DeMar Hamlin do?
My whole thing is like, because it's just weird. The rotation player part is a little funny, where it's like you see him get smoked on a play by like one of the best receivers in the league or whatever, and you're just like, that one thing was crazy though that happened, so he could stick around.
He lived for this though.
It's
but
like
keep in mind,
who was the Chiefs' safety that got cancer? Eric Berry, am I remembering that right?
Yeah.
I remember one time I was at my friend's house in high school, and I said, "Fuck Eric Berry," because his dad was pissing me off. His dad was a
Whoa.
His dad was a huge dick. And Eric Berry, I don't believe that. I was just trying to rage bait his dad, and I got kicked out.
Whoa,
He
that's
said,
crazy.
"Get out of my house!" And I said, "All right, sorry, Steve," or whatever your fucking name is.
That's great. That's crazy to argue with your friend's dad.
You are the type to just capitulate.
Absolutely. I'm not.
Oh my god.
I am not. I'm avoiding all contact with my friend's parents. One time, my friend's mom made me take out the garbage when I was there. when I was a kid.
Well, you're helping out if you're gonna be
Yeah,
at their
but
house.
it was crazy because I was like, this is a chore and I'm a guest. But
Oh
I
my
did it.
god, were you over there regularly?
Not even like I guess you could say, often, but like,
If
yeah.
you're a regular, you're eligible for chores. I mean, that's how my my friends' parents did it. I remember one time this kid I went to middle school with. I went over to his house, or I think it was even like late elementary school, like 5th grade. And so, you're young, but you have this like fake concept of like, I'm going to be in 6th grade soon. I'm pretty much a grown adult. And I went over to his house. He had one sock on the floor, and I had to go home. He got grounded for like a week. His mom saw the sock,
Whoa.
took me home. And like, we were just dead silent in the car. And I was like, damn, bro, this shit's crazy.
Yeah, I had a friend who had stricter parents. They weren't that strict, but he was like early bedtime when I didn't have a bedtime anymore, and then like he had to wake up to go to church every Sunday, and I was like,
gosh.
yep, he's literally in prison, and I'm the freest man in the world.
Yeah.
I'm like Damar Hamlin post resurrection.
But I remember that kid. He also had a lot of cool gun toys. I remember that. Like, I had like Nerf guns and stuff, but he had like fake metal guns and stuff, and so that was fun to like play. Whatever.
I saw the weirdest TikTok the other day. Did you see this? Where it was a kid on the couch eating food, and he looked like Jokic. He looked like a young Jokic.
And they brought out a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was very bizarre.
I saw that. I was watching it with my girlfriend. We scrolled up, and it showed up, and she goes, "Holy shit, that looks like Jokic." And so, you got validated.
Yeah, and he was like crying tears of happiness. And originally you're like, oh, look at this nice kid. What did he get? And then it was a gun. And he's the most like Bulgarian looking kid possible.
Well, there's not that much difference between like a Bulgarian, like, unless you could see their material surroundings, like a fat kid in the middle of like Wisconsin or something, and like a
Well, do you know where he was?
No, but I'm assuming
He was French.
Oh, whoa! I didn't have that in the cards at all, dude. Yeah, well, weird little like 10-year-old fat kids look the same all over.
It's crazy. It is comforting though, but it's crazy.
This-
I don't like, and like again the gun thing. France, like what are we doing?
This one time
was he hunting? Maybe he's a hunting farm kid.
Yeah, the French countryside. I'm sure there's like a lot of like wilderness shit you could do out there. We were at Nando's. And there was a family in front of us, and they were dressed like the most stereotypical European people of all time. Like the dad, I had a very clear memory.
Skinny jeans, skinny pants,
skinny jorts. So cut off jean shorts that looked like they were painted on, and then like he was like a meatball on top of that with like a bright orange polo on, and like the kid was wearing some shit like that, like all Adidas stuff or whatever. And
nice.
I leaned over to my girlfriend and I said, "These are definitely not American people." And then the kid goes, "Mom, can I have a Coca-Cola?" And I was like, I had to like walk out of the restaurant because I was laughing so hard. My Coca-Cola. Oh my God.
What's that old sound that used to be? It's like a little German kid playing Fortnite or something. What does he say?
This was when that was. It was un Fortnite and cola. Yippee!
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that's gonna be sick when we're old and just like my brain's falling apart, and they're like, "Hey, Grandpa, what how you doing?" And I'm just like throwing TikTok sounds back at them. I'm just.
Will Fortnite still be going?
Oh, definitely. I'm hopping off the Fortnite train. They're embracing AI too much for my taste.
But that's a good use of AI. Darth Vader?
I mean, I don't get what it adds to the game.
You get to talk to him.
No, I mean
that AI should be used in video games for NPCs.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't give. I'm morally against it until I can get my bearings a little bit more. Because every time anything comes out, it's like, yep. We're burning down Memphis so that Darth Vader can call kids the F slur at full volume on Fortnite or something. It's like, okay, well, I don't get how that makes anything better.
It can't be. that's probably 2% of the AI. The real problem is the 49% of people that are like, what kind of rash is my rash? They're just using it for like Google and stuff like that.
Tweeting out pictures of my rash. Grok, what is this?
Yeah. Like I'm okay with like, in even like business people, they can use it to like just make things quicker, but it should not be publicly available like ChatGPT, just a Google shortcut type thing.
Yeah, and the videos are though. We talked a few weeks back, and I went on the record and I said I will always be able to vibe check the videos or whatever. And
and then they immediately took a jump.
Yeah, that same day. Did you see the kangaroo holding the ticket?
No, I saw though Jinxie unboxing like fan stuff, and a raccoon was in the package. It would looked 100% real.
I saw two. So one was like this one where it was like, I have an emotional support kangaroo, and they wouldn't let him on the plane. And obviously, in retrospect, that's stupid. I don't know why I believed that, but it looked real. And then like the camera pans away from these arguing people to like a little baby kangaroo just holding a plane ticket and being like, and I was like, damn, that looks like a real kangaroo. And then the other one was like fake behind the scenes Marvel footage, and it was like the scope was so that you kind of like, you don't need detail because you're like, oh, this is somebody smuggling in like a flip phone camera to secretly record Robert Downey Jr. or whatever. Nice. And I just bought that right away too, and it was like, yep, we're fucked. It's over. It's gonna get so much worse.
Yeah, and also think about like when you played video games in like 2010. You were probably like, this is the most real-looking thing I've ever seen. I specifically remember when 2K took a jump from Xbox One, or from Xbox 360 to Xbox One. The graphics took a jump, and I watched Chris Smooth's first gameplay on it. I was in awe. I was like, this is literally real life. It was nuts.
I remember Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the original Xbox. I was like, damn.
Are you supporting Battlefront 3?
I mean, the thing is, now that I'm done Fortniting, I gotta get a new gaming console. That's the problem. Is because I have an Xbox One from literally, it's probably from like 2017. It's so old. And Fortnite.
You've been Xbox One-ing this whole time?
Yeah, and Fortnite's like the only thing that runs on it. Like, I tried to download Marvel Rivals, and they're like, it's going to blow up if we try to put this on the Xbox. You can't have it. You need to buy a new one. And so, yeah, I guess that's the move. But I would be down with Battlefront 3, I guess. I'm just like, that seems like a skill vertical game where it's like the barrier to entry is very high, and I would have to learn a lot of strats, especially with how many.
Really?
Well, because like I clicked like a TikTok rabbit hole where I just kept clicking on blue comments in like the sections or whatever, and I learned all about like
Padme Arch.
No.
Oh.
Luke Skywalker Arch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Screw him, Zionist.
Yeah. Okay. Han Solo Arch. Oh my god.
Oh. Now, there's not a woman. There's not a woman over 40 and probably under 40 that's not clicking that.
Yeah. Prime Harrison Ford, dude. Oh my god. Fuck. Now I'm just thinking about him.
Oh shoot.
Oh yeah. Like I went down a rabbit hole and it was all about like the different like heroes in Star Wars Battlefront and like all the strats for like countering them or whatever, and I was like, damn, this is so much to learn. Oh my god.
I don't really know how it works. I haven't played it, but yeah, guys, get us to 14 million patrons. Get this guy off the Xbox One. That's nuts.
I would not. I mean, my life is probably better when I'm not playing video games. I'm not gonna lie. I read a whole book in one day the other day. That was crazy.
How many pages?
It was pretty big. I want to. Let me see. I'll Google. It was called Fantastic Land. It was fiction and it was kind of slop, but it was good. I liked it.
What is that? What is it? Is it spicy?
No, it was scary. It was a scary book. It was fantastic. Okay, 272 pages. One day. Oh my god. It's like a hurricane hits like this Disney World fake Disney World, pretty much in Florida. A huge hurricane hits it, and like 300 kids get trapped inside for like 5 weeks, and they do Lord of the Flies in there, and it was good.
Oh. Do you know Conclave was a book?
Yeah, my girlfriend read it after the movie. She said it was better. There was like a lot more of the romance that like people kind of projected onto the guys. It was a little more heavy-handed in the book, I think.
Oh, okay.
Have you read any books recently?
No.
Can you
but
even
we're
read?
at 30. So Tibbs was fired.
Okay. Oh, shit. I forgot we have a lot of stuff to talk about, actually. Okay, 30 minutes. Yeah. Well, Austin Ainge also hired. I have two. This is like the news of the episode. Tibbs gets fired. Austin Ainge gets brought on as president of basketball operations for the Jazz.
The Suns also hired a coach, no?
Oh, yeah, that just happened today. One of the major assistants for the Cavs, I believe, something Ott. O-T-T is the last name.
Yeah.
I saw some of the Cavs fans I follow on Twitter were worried about that. I guess he was their Adelman,
He's a grinder. He's a real grinder.
He's a gamer. He's a tape all the time.
But yeah, so Tibbs fired, I think, a little surprising, but it's not like anybody's like, why did this happen? We all know why it happened, but
it's more surprising because, like, in the lead up, we were all like, Tibbs should be in more danger, and all the reports were like, he's not. He's safe. Quit asking. And so, like, to me, that's why it's surprising. Like, if there had just been radio silence from the Knicks, I think everybody would have been like, yeah, it's not crazy.
Yeah, and I listened to Bill Simmons talk about it, and he made it seem like this has been bubbling, but like behind the scenes, and it's been like pretty obvious, and like they've soured on him. And so like he said that like the big one is Mikal Bridges, and we did have that weird moment earlier in the season. Do you remember when he publicly complained about playing too many minutes? And then
yeah.
And I think he said, like, me and Tibbs talked about it. Tibbs like, we didn't talk about that. And then later they're like, all right, we had a private meeting. It's all settled now. And I think also he hated Towns or something like that. But yeah, so I think the ultimate rationale they gave was it was Towns versus Tibbs, right?
I mean, I guess I really haven't looked that much into this. I haven't done that much like research into what happened behind the scenes, so I'll take everything that you're saying at face value.
This is gospel.
Okay, gospel or gossip, guys? Comment down below. In terms of does he deserve it? How much? What percentage-wise are we thinking? Because one side of this philosophical coin, I'm looking at Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, disastrous defensively. A duo that I don't really think there's that much schematically you could do if the other team really tries to exploit them. And I saw some people, because I said that online, and some people were like, they literally won the Celtics series by locking down on defense towards the ends of games. And I was like, I mean, I guess, but like part of that is also just Jaylen Brown bumping Brunson twice when he gets him on a switch and then being like, oh, I got him for the elbow jumper now or something. It's like, I don't know. They didn't really do their best to get those guys and like go to the rim or get wide open threes out of the deal. Whereas the Pacers really did. And then the other side of that coin, I definitely don't think they were maximized on offense. This should be a better offensive team.
I think Tibbs did a good job, but yeah, he didn't maximize anything because he's literally an insane person. The minutes thing is a legit problem, and he just will not address it. And so, like, why are we don't get Towns, Mitchell Robinson lineups until the playoffs? And I know he was injured for a lot of it, but still.
Or the other guys, like, I know it's like stupid to be like, Landry Shamet minutes or something, but if you mess around with DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet lineups in January or something, and you kind of see what's going to work and what won't, maybe you're not like freestyling.
Maybe it's better when you're forced to play it in the playoffs,
Yeah.
which they were.
Yeah.
It's literally insanity. Like, it's the same thing over and over and over, and he just will not learn. And it's what gets him in trouble. You would think he would change just for job security, because it really bothers people that you don't play rookies and you don't play your bench at all. Chicago media gave him a ton of heat for it. Minnesota media gave him a ton of heat for it. I don't know, and obviously New York has. So I don't get what is not clicking. What can't he get through his head? It's bizarre.
Yeah, and I would also say this is like a very positive postseason in terms of health. Like, this was that was the big question is, will they be forced to dip into these things because somebody gets hurt as a result of this? And they were forced to dip into it for other reasons, but yeah, like, this was a perfect playoffs in terms of health. Nobody really sustained a major injury, except for like Towns' left knee in those last couple of games, I guess. But yeah, to get that much luck and still, like, it could have gone so much worse. This was one of the better outcomes as far as that goes.
Yeah, I mean, they did legitimately beat the Celtics, but I feel like everyone kind of feels like that's more of a Celtics failure than a Knicks. Like, they didn't rise to the level that the Celtics were at. The Celtics came down to the level everyone else was at. And yeah, I mean, they got lucky this year. Who knows how it would be going forward? And so, is there any word on who
I
they
can
were
Google it.
It was two guys, Ime Udoka, and it was someone else who was not available. I forget who it was.
Knicks head coach odds. Let me see that. Let me get the odds up here. Because, guys, this is brought to you by FanDuel, by the way, including all that stuff we said in the beginning about Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was Mike Malone is the guy I've seen thrown around a lot. So
that's not the one I saw.
So this list that I'm looking at, and this is just the odds. So this is not like, I assume you're looking at like a specific report. Mike Malone, Johnny Bryant, Jay Wright, what the hell? Mike Budenholzer, Rick Brunson is plus 1,500.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Oh,
and that was
shit.
something Bill mentioned too. He said, like, there's too many cooks in the kitchen, like too many people have a voice, and he was saying, like, he doesn't know if he doesn't know that, like, Tibbs wouldn't want Rick Brunson, but he's like, if he didn't, then it's like, hey, it's probably not cool being like, oh, put our star player's dad on the bench. That'll be epic.
Yeah, and then Monty Williams, John Calipari's here, Dan Hurley. The reports I saw, it was also like
Jason Kidd is the other one.
Oh, is he unavailable? Are the Mavs still employing him?
As far as I know, and I mean, the indications that we've got since the trade, it was that he was part of getting Luka out.
No, nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew. A fart in the wind. It was this middle of the night operation that nobody knew about.
I do believe that, though. I believe no one knew in the moment, but I believe Jason Kidd was probably complaining a ton leading up to it.
Imagine how, like, if that is the case, he's just going to fucking Nico every day. Luka is so fat. This is untenable. We're never gonna win because, like, we can't field a unit on the defensive end of the floor that even stays afloat. And then he comes in one morning and he's like, "You did what?"
Nico's like, they're having dinner, and Nico's like, "You play defense? You won a championship? Why can't he do that?" And Kid's like, "Yep, he's not me. He'll never be me.
He'll never be me." Yeah. So, Ime, if they could get, I really think Udoka is a good coach. Outside, I mean, did we ever find out what he did in Boston?
I think it was just relationship with
consensual sex with an employee.
I'm assuming consensual. Oh wait, no. There might have been an element of where she tried to end it, and then he, like, harassed her about that, something like that. I can't say for sure. Guys,
Okay.
comment down below the full gravity of the situation.
Well, regardless, it doesn't seem like a sick situation. He did turn the Rockets around, though.
He cheated on Neil Long. This
Yeah.
guy's sick in the head.
Yeah.
And like people are like, well, he's hard nosed. He's defensive guy. It's much easier to be. I have a Men Thompson, and Tari Eason, and Steve.
Well, I have
Nash.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Derek White and Amen Thompson and Tari Eason.
Healthy Robert Williams. And
Marcus Smart. I'm a defensive-minded guy.
I'm just going to instill that mentality in Brunson and Cat, and we're going to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, truly, that is how I feel. Where it's like, whoever comes in, this should be a better offense next year. There's a ton of stuff. Because, like, I complained about some of the possessions that the Knicks had. It was just very clear that, like, Mikal Bridges catches the ball, and he's going to be the one to shoot it. Or OG catches the ball, and he's going to be the one to shoot it. And that was, like, part of why I felt the Pacers' defense was super successful against them. It's just, like, they were a very predictable offense towards the end there. I think a better coach will be running more actions that are like more confusing to a defense and getting those guys open off screens, moving off the ball, cutting, whatever, more. Even if Brunson continues to have the ball in his hands as much as he does. Defensively, though, I really don't. Like, this is such good. Like, I guess Bridges, not great defensively this year. Really, I mean, underwhelming. But, like, OG, incredible defender, and like he should be good supplementary help for Brunson and Cat, and they're still just like it doesn't matter. Like if you're running both of those guys, the other team will get one of them involved somehow.
There's nothing you could do to overcome bad defensive person. Well, there's definitely nothing you could do to overcome two bad defenders who are at center and point guard, really.
And who, like, are disengaged. Because in the Celtics series, they were trying. You could tell that, like, the entire lead up to the Celtics series had been, hey, these guys are going to attack you. They're going to get you onto switches, and they're going to try to go to work. And I felt like Brunson and Cat took that personally. But in the Pacers series, it just didn't matter at all.
It's interesting Taylor Jenkins' name isn't mentioned at all. He wasn't in those odds at all, right?
I didn't see him. No, that is weird. Because he's gonna get hired somewhere. I believe that.
You'd think so. Maybe everyone's scared of his offense. They're like, we want to do pick and rolls. Don't let this guy near me.
I guess maybe he's like a legend. So he's like Sasquatch. They're telling stories about him.
All right, Windhorst says, the Knicks' vacant head coach position is one of the more interesting jobs you're going to see. Mention names like Mike Brown, Michael Malone, Taylor Jenkins, Jeff Van Gundy, and Jay Wright as possible candidates. How many tries has Mike Brown gotten?
He had the Kings. Was he
with
with
the Kings? He had the Cavs. He had the Lakers. Is that it? Still, fourth bite at the apple would be a lot.
Yeah, fourth bite at the apple for what has been a pretty substantial lack of success.
Well, I don't know. So the Cavs were good. He was, but they had LeBron.
So if you can get your hands on a LeBron, Mike Brown's your guy.
How did those Lakers do? I don't know
what years was it?
I have no clue.
Well done. Let me look it up.
Post Phil Jackson, and I don't know if he ever had a roster that was supposed to compete. No, Phil Jackson was still the coach when they got swept by the Mavs, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Was that a sweep? I thought they lost in 5, but whatever.
Maybe.
So the Lakers, that's 2011-12 and 2012-13, but he only did 5 games in 12-13, so he must have got fired pretty quick.
Is he the coach of the Dream Team, the Dwight Nash?
Let me see. Is that 11-12? No, that's 12-13. So I guess he got fired at the start of that team.
Okay. So either way, not a great situation. He was very good with the Kings for a little bit, and then they got mad at him or whatever. He refused to play Keon Ellis for some reason.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that was a Tibbs move for sure. Keon Ellis is not seeing the floor if Tibbs is your head coach.
No, well,
Too
if
young.
Tibbs is your head coach, he might play 49 minutes a game. I
Okay.
think. But yeah, a lot of these. Jeff Van Gundy would be funny because it is like 90s head coach, and he's on the Clippers bench. The Clippers had a great defense, and they credited him. There were like PR stories all year long where it's like Jeff Van Gundy, the architect of this Clippers team, and he's Tibbs's mentor. Tibbs is on his bench. So,
have you been seeing that picture of Tibbs with the mullet going around?
I think I've seen it in the past. Is he in a tracksuit?
No, it's like him on the sidelines with the mullet. Let me see if I can find it.
He's a cool looking guy.
Mullet Tibbs. Hey, oh, you friggin' gabagoots. This is here.
Let me search. Oh, I have seen that. Yeah, he was cool.
What a Chad.
That's probably when he broke off an engagement to focus on ball more.
Said I can't be with you.
I'm gonna search Doc Rivers' name on Twitter. Let's see if he comes up as an option.
Well, he's helping keep Giannis in Milwaukee. You don't remember that?
Oh,
yeah. He's one of the big draws for Giannis to come back to Milwaukee. It's to be coached by Doc Rivers. That's one of the greatest coaches of all time.
okay. There's no reports that it could be Doc Rivers. So,
well, they're keeping it. They're keeping it on. It's very tight story.
Is this the end of Tibbs? Because this is his third bite at the apple, and you usually don't get a fourth.
I don't know. I just don't really know what teams. Like I thought Vogel would have a job by now. I thought Budenholzer would have a job.
But he's had his 3, right? Yeah, he's had his 3.
3 strikes and you're out.
3 strikes and you're out. Budenholzer's had 3. Hawks.
Okay.
Hawks, Phoenix, Bucks.
Okay. I mean, shit. So yeah, I mean, going by that track record, Tibbs is done. Maybe he'll coach in college somewhere. He's got a college mentality. He could be a good college coach.
He does. He could also be in media because he was in ESPN at his time off before.
Mm-hmm.
Another element to this is that Bill Simmons speculated on is that Kevin Durant wouldn't want to play for him. And
I was thinking about the Suns bringing him in or whatever, and I was like, imagine being 40-year-old Kevin Durant coming off an Achilles injury, and you just see Tibbs walk in the door. I'm going to need a lot out of you on defense, Kevin.
Bradley Beal would be dead by the end of the year.
He'd retire, yeah. He'd be like, you could buy me out. I'm done with the contract.
He'd waive that no trade clause.
I'm not playing for this
is
psycho.
that a good strat? Would you bring in Tibbs solely for that? Maybe.
That could be worth it, honestly.
Could be worth it.
Yeah, just give him a short contract. Be like, just terrorize this guy. Don't let him sleep. We're conditioning all the time, or else we're playing a basketball game.
Yeah, so... I don't know. Let me see. Tibbs fired after meeting with select few Knicks players. What does this mean?
Who are the select few? Do we think DeLon Wright was in the room? PJ Tucker.
PJ was probably in the room.
PJ's got to be in there.
He's a huge voice for this team. Yeah, I don't know.
Me neither. I don't know.
A little moment of silence for everybody.
Moment of silence for Tom Thibodeau.
To take in this segment. Yeah, for Tom Thibodeau and for Brian Thompson. He had father of 2.
Okay. Do you want to do the trades thing?
JB the Curtis house.
What is that?
That's flames. That's flames engulfing.
That's a bomb. No. Never mind.
Tibbs may as well be in Jamie Lee Curtis's house the way he was on the hot seat.
Speaking of hot seat, your ex-wife. Yep.
Hey. Yeah. because of how. Now move on.
That's the hottest seat in town. Ask all the guys.
Move on. Oh shit! all the oilmen who come into town.
My ex-wife's making her 3rd trip out to the oil rig this month.
She says there's a grocery store in there. I don't know. It's like Menards.
I guess save big money. Oh my god.
Is Menards everywhere? Do you know Menards?
I know Menards, but only because I'm from the Midwest. It's not.
It is in the Midwest, though?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There was several Menards in my hometown, but I never went. I was always like,
Really?
I never needed anything. I would go to like Home Depot or something.
They have food there.
Yeah,
not like hot food, but like groceries.
That's weird.
It's cool. It's cool. Also, they leave the lights on 24/7, and they have so many lights in there.
That's based. I love waste. You know.
They say I think it's like something about turning them off and on uses more electricity.
That's so funny. How could that possibly be true?
I think that's true with like a car battery too, right?
I'm not a car. I don't know.
Guys, comment down below if that's true.
Guys,
do we have any electricians? Do
guys,
we have any tradesmen?
Leave all the lights in your house turned on. All the time. And it'll lower your bill.
If you just watch a scary movie?
Hey, you know, what's worse? Paying a few extra cents on the power bill or just being scared? Someone getting you.
You're paying for peace of mind is what you're paying for.
Okay. Let me timestamp this hoe. Crap, my phone won't unlock. Okay, what are we at? Bruh. 51. Let's do trades. Okay, so I've put together a list of some terrible trades. I did this with hindsight, so like some of the stuff, some of my honorable mentions.
We could talk about them through both lenses.
Yeah.
So we could simultaneously live in the present and the past and maybe the future.
Yes.
When Sabonis hits the EPO, he'll be even better than he is now.
Okay. Bald Sabonis. He loses the EPO. It takes what's left of his hairline.
I saw a video of or a picture of Luke Kennard in high school, and he was the same level of bald that he is now. And I was like...
Some guys are just like that. You go to high school with some guys, they just... Yeah, you know.
But you'd think he would have gone bald by now. But I guess it's just that. He's just paused forever at that point.
Damn, he's stuck in time.
Yeah. Could be worse.
So, obviously the 2 finals teams, propelled by some of the most lopsided trades in... really in NBA history, but especially in recent memory. We have, and one of them more defensible than the other. The Haliburton trade, Haliburton for Sabonis, I mean, it's bad. Like, it's aged so terribly. However, the Shea swap, Clippers for, Paul George, Kawhi, all that stuff, a little bit easier to stomach. Even, like, the process remains the same and everything. So I guess we could start... Haliburton for Sabonis. You could just fucking cook on this for a while. Full package. Pacers received Tyrese Haliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. The Kings received Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and Justin Holiday. How do you feel about this trade?
So, it was a horrible trade, and I said so at the time. And some others did. A lot of smart people did as well. JJ Redick freaked out, lost his cool about this. He said it was reprehensible or something like that. And it was so bad, not just because it was young, up and coming, hyper efficient point guard. Oh, I got to plug in my laptop.
Mm-hmm. But it was the Luka trade before the Luka trade. If I know where you're going with this.
Yes, nobody knew Haliburton was available, and Sabonis was already, if I'm remembering right, Sabonis was already like done in Indiana. They had already realized this is not working. We need to blow this up. Like something is going on here.
Mm-hmm. At that point, it was very much like a Miles Turner or Domantas Sabonis. We gotta pick a route here.
Yeah. And it's so funny that he played with Miles Turner, because imagine if he didn't, because then every team forever could be like, well, just imagine him next to a shot blocking.
Come on,
stretch
he just
5.
needs rim protecting shooting.
Yeah, come on.
Which, like, Miles Turner, fake rim protector. But the shooting, definitely real.
It was just psychotic, absolutely psychotic process because you had Haliburton there. He was already good. I'm not saying anybody knew for sure he'd be this good, but he was already a really good. Pull up his last year Sacramento stats.
Okay, all right.
Him and Fox, I feel like, had decent synergy because, I mean, you see he already plays off ball a lot. He wanted to be there. He was like, I'm excited about
love
turning
with the Kings. I remember that.
I think he cried when he got traded.
Yeah.
He fully was bought into turning that team around.
Okay, so his rookie season, that's 2021. We are looking at 13 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 47% from the field, 41% from 3 on 5 attempts a game in just over 30 minutes. And then the 51 games he played in Sacramento prior to being traded mid-season to the Pacers.
Oh, so it was year 2 he was traded?
Yeah. So you got he was third in Rookie of the Year in 2021, and then you got a really big sample size of him looking really good as a sophomore. 14.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 46% from the field, and 41% from 3 on 5 attempts a game. Let me pull up this true shooting percentage. Just really, really efficient. Yeah, so, oh, fuck. It doesn't split it up into the Pacers, whatever. I assume close to 60% true shooting during his second season in Sacramento, maybe like 58, 59%. And, yeah, I don't think the Kings had an incredible record with him and Fox on the team together, or on the floor together, but it was very much like we need to pick a direction, and they picked the wrong one.
And I believe the year after they draft him, they draft Davion Mitchell, which is just out. That's a straight up caveman move. I can't believe his finger. Where was he working back then, guys?
I don't know.
Pull up
Can we account for his
whereabouts?
whereabouts?
Check his LinkedIn. And so the idea of we have too many guards, let's prioritize the 23-year-old guy who had one good offensive season in college, who's like 6 foot. He plays good defense, but
he's resurging now. We're in the off-night resurgence. People, don't let this recent run cloud your judgment. There was a long time there where Davion Mitchell was not assistant. Before the Heat culture got to him, it just wasn't tenable.
And I'll tell you what, there were people who were very in on Davion Mitchell back then. Like, I'm sure if you go listen to Bill and Ryan talk about Davion Mitchell in 2021, they're all in. But it was just absolutely nuts. And so what I won't say with hindsight, like, it's not crazy back then to prioritize De'Aaron Fox over Haliburton. De'Aaron Fox was still very good with a ton of potential.
25 and 7. The season that Haliburton was a rookie, he was 25.7 assists a game.
And so yeah, it's fine if you're like, okay, I think we're too guard heavy. I think probably Haliburton isn't going to move, or another guard isn't going to move the needle for this team. Let me try and get a wing or a big. That kind of thinking is not insane. But what is insane is just drafting Davion Mitchell makes 0 sense in any verse, and then having no bidding war at all, because Haliburton was thought of highly across the league, but nobody knew he was available. You could have got, I have no recollection of what the trade landscape would have been at that point, but I'm sure there are better guys.
Well, not a single first-round pick is pretty tough.
And then what, like, people was Sabonis already an all-star by that point?
Yeah,
I think he was.
He was back-to-back seasons all-star. He was all-star in 2019-20 and in 2021. He was averaging like essentially 20 points, 12 rebounds in those seasons, and yeah, he was 25 at the time of the trade.
And this is a guy who did all the same passing stuff in Indiana. Maybe not to the same degree, but it's the same type of guy doing the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How do you look at that and you're like, that's what we need next to De'Aaron Fox? And obviously they made it work, but I don't know, like, who's a super, like, Scoot's maybe not the best example. I don't know. Who's a young athletic guard? Like I can't imagine the Pistons being like, let's bring in Sabonis to maximize Jaden Ivey. I'm like, how is that gonna fix things?
Yeah. Yeah, like a bursty guy like that.
It was just horrible. And so it's kind of funny hearing like Bill and everyone. I've mentioned Bill like 10 times.
Hey, we're glazing. We're glazing. We know the whole history.
And also Kirk Goldsberry was on Zach Lowe's podcast. They were like glazing the Pacers team building, which I understand to an extent, but like it's built off a completely lopsided trade that is not available.
Yes.
Like that's not replicable.
It's built on like America. We swindled the Native American. I have all these glass beads for you. Give me 1 million acres of land. I suppose Sabonis is the beads in that comp. And, like, it's just tough because, well, you've expressed your opinion about Sabonis, and I'm inclined...
I used to get yelled at for saying this a couple of years ago on TikTok.
I'm inclined to agree with you. He makes it very tough to, he just has a lot of ceiling issues. Like, it's like the Brunson and the Cat thing rolled into one, where not this, like, bad defense... Even though I think he has spots where he could be good defensively, I do think like there's a like you could find a roster where he could fit in and be a part of a good defense. But bad defense and no shooting is just, and no touch really. That's the bad, is like there's not even a path forward to like a Şengün kind of bag where you'd be like, hey, if that elbow jumper develops, then all of a sudden we have a viable pump fake out there and we could get into like this cool in the paint passing hub kind of thing. All Sabonis has is like the bruiser type role, and he's not a lob threat either. And so you just now, like, you see 24 and 25 years old on the paper, and you're like, they're young or whatever. But
wait, Sabonis?
Well, not now. I mean, at the time of the trade, you're looking at...
I was like, no way.
Sabonis is 20. He looks terrible. No, at the time of the trade, Fox is 24, Sabonis is 25. And you look at that, if you're a Kings fan, and you're like, okay, not like it's not like we're the baby Thunder or something with an average age of 21, but we're moving in the right direction. But there's just, even when it happened, it was just kind of like, there's not really a path to one of these guys being like one of the 10 best players in the league. Even with that the Light the Beam season is one of the most fun seasons in recent NBA memory. But in retrospect, it's very clearly carried by huge clutch variance and an incredible amount of health.
They did have a good series against Golden State in round one. They were a legit good team, but just not a contender, probably. But yeah, it was funny. Kirk Goldsberry was glazing the roster construction, and then Zach is like, well, let's remember they did want to give Ayton a max contract. So
I wrote that down as well.
Yeah, that would have derailed the entire thing. And then they have kind of like they've sat on their hands with Miles Turner. He's been like the trade target for years. I don't know if that's a positive or negative at this point. But yeah, so this team really is built out of a lot of luck, I'd say. I don't know.
I don't know about luck. I think,
like, are you looking at like the process of we never tank? And you're like, well, because we just make shrewd moves. And so are you like, well, the Pacers did it. I like what they're doing. Let me operate this way.
I think it's fair to say, like, the rock they built their church on, that's lucky. It is lucky to get a Haliburton level player for that kind of trade package. And then to make the subsequent moves. I think they made shrewd moves around Haliburton. I think the Siakam move was pretty shrewd. Like, I think that's a guy that, like, you know, other teams, glamorous teams like the Lakers or the Celtics or whoever, you know, they're looking around and they're like, well, we could get guys like, we find guys like that. They come to us in free agency or we could trade for them, whatever. It just works out for us. The Pacers, it doesn't work that way. They recognize a guy like that's available and they go and get him for what is essentially very little draft capital and like Bruce Brown. That's a shrewd move. I think picking up Neesmith was a shrewd move. I think they've drafted well. And so, like, I think there's a million different, like, ways they could get Haliburton and still have not been a good team around him. Because I also don't think he's the level of player that, like, you're just locked into being, like, a serious playoff team or something. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like, I hesitate to call it all luck, but to pull off a deal of this magnitude, to send out a multiple-time all-star, fringe all-NBA level player and have it be this big of a fleece in hindsight, I do feel like there's luck involved in that.
I just have animosity towards them because I see so much bullsness in how they operate, and I'm like, ugh.
Well, it's like he's their Giddey, you know. If like if the Thunder wanted Sabonis or something, and they were like, you can have Giddey. Is there a world where the Pacers are like, okay?
If Haliburton was the worst player in the playoffs the year before he was traded, but yeah. So then, the Thunder have a similar. Is there more rare or less rare than the Haliburton trade?
I would say more rare. I don't know. I guess it's more explosive, but maybe it's rarer to just like see two all-star-ish guys swapped for each other straight up. It feels like the era of superstar in exchange for like huge draft haul. That's more common in today.
Well, they got both, right? Or no? What did they do?
I have it written down. So
all right, yeah.
Obviously, Thunder get the Clippers get Paul George, and then the Thunder get Shea, a 2021 first-round pick that became Trey Mann, a 2022 first-round pick that became Jalen Williams, a 2023 first-round pick. I think they moved that around. It became Jaime Jaquez. A 2024 first-round pick that became Dylan Jones, a 2025 pick swap that's 24th overall this season, and then a 2026 first-round pick. So Shea and 6 essentially first-round picks. And
okay, so it's over next year?
Next year is the last year. That was another crazy thing. I was like, if this feels...
But the Clippers are still in some kind of hole, right? Is it to Philadelphia for Harden?
Yeah, that was the other part. It's like they shipped like 28 and 29 for James Harden. And it's like, it's cool. You know, James Harden's still good or whatever. Obviously, All-NBA this season. But it's just like, this is such a desperate team, I feel like.
Yeah. Part of the podcast with Zach and Kirk Goldsberry, Zach did... So he praised OKC for having Paul George to even make this trade. And so... That is something interesting because they originally get Paul George by trading Sabonis and Victor Oladipo, who I'm pretty sure at the time that was a bad haul for, again, like Indiana. I was mad about that trade at the time. I was like, Domantas Sabonis, who I think was just horrible.
It was two guys that you were like, what? Especially Sabonis. You saw some flashes with Oladipo.
Oladipo put him. He was like a cool role player next to Durant and Westbrook, right? He did. I
don't think he overlapped because KD leaves. Oladipo and Sabonis came over in the Serge Ibaka to the Magic trade, and so. Yeah, I think Serge Ibaka left the same offseason or right around the same time that Kevin Durant dipped out. So I don't think Oladipo played with Durant, but I do think he was one of the more quote-unquote impressive role players from that 17 Thunder team, which is famously one of the worst supporting casts of all time.
Yes, so he's pretty much the second option here. Dang, they had Jeremy Grant on this team. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
it was a super team. But yeah, so Sabonis, borderline nepo baby at that point. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
this is what you got for? I mean, I know Paul George broke his leg or whatever, and I don't think his last run there in Indiana was like special, but that was.
Oh, I don't know. I think his last playoff series was crazy for them. Let me
Pull it up,
pull
pull it up. I don't know. That's just such a fugue state in my mind. Is like leg break to OKC. That's just such a weird stretch of time for Pacers hoops.
So let's see. His last year, 16-17. They were 40 and 42. Here. Let me name Paul George's teammates. He had Miles Turner back then.
How many games did he play in this season?
He played 75.
Damn. Okay. All right.
Jeff Teague, he played all 82. Thaddeus Young, Monte Ellis, C.J. Miles, Lance Stevenson, Glenn Robinson, Rodney Stuckey, Al Jefferson. Yeah, we got some hitters. Let me see the playoffs. So yeah, I think they were swept in the first round.
Hey, Oladipo took LeBron to 7 next year. So,
well, Paul George had a crazy sweep. So 28 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists on loading.
D'Angelo Russell.
55% true shooting. That was probably like +1 back then.
I don't believe that. There's no in 15, 16. You're talking about it like it's like the 90s. It's 2017.
No, it was. I'm pretty sure because the 90s were like. Were the 90s also... The 2000s are really
Let me pull
dipped.
it up. Whatever. I'm not pulling it up, actually. I don't give a shit. So, yeah. Back to... Centering this back on the Thunder. It's more explainable, I think, from the Clippers' point of view. Because it's like, I'll throw them the Kawhi bone. You're getting Paul George and Kawhi. And so, it's not like... Yeah, it's not like you're getting obliterated just for Paul George. And the other part, like, this has truly been like an unpredictable rise from SGA. MVPs, it's impossible to tell which players are going to like blossom into true best in the world level guys, even the number 1 overall picks. And so I'm not sitting there looking back and being like, oh, Shea's Clipper tape, it was just oozing best in the world level guy. It was impressive. It was like, it mattered that the Thunder got him in the Hall or whatever. But I think there's plenty of timelines where he's just like, a cool scorer or something, and it doesn't like all come together like this.
Well, wait. So do you? So back to the Paul George trade. They got him for that little because he was on an expiring contract, right? And people they thought it was like a foregone conclusion that he would go to LA.
Yeah, the vibes were very much Paul George will not be in Indiana anymore.
And so OKC only had him for a year, and you make that trade hoping we'll try and get him to re-sign. And everyone's like, he's not going to re-sign. And then he miraculously re-signs, which is one of the craziest things. Do you...
Testament to Westbrook teammate level, by the way.
Yeah.
That should be in the pyramid of Westbrook teammate stuff.
Do you glaze that as Sam Presti process? He took a swing, very much like a Kawhi-like swing that the Raptors took. They're like, we have nothing. We're just going to do it. Do you praise that swing and credit that as being shrewd, like being willing to take a big risk and then it pays off later because you get to trade this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think that's like miracle, like Haliburton for Sabonis?
Very much. I credit the process with this one, especially like when you look at the package. Absolutely, it's one thing to be like, oh man, a couple like I'm giving up 3 picks, I'm giving up this guy or that guy. A deal structured around Oladipo and Sabonis at that stage in their careers for
what would the young guy equivalent of that be today? Like who's an underperforming big man, young big man who's like bad?
Oh, I don't know.
It would almost be like trading Wiseman and Kuminga a few years ago.
I guess, yeah. I was thinking. I mean, my mind went to Jalen Duren, but like he's not remotely close to what like Sabonis was in Oklahoma City.
No,
There was
yeah.
just so little value Sabonis was providing on that team, and so yeah. I mean, Kuminga and Wiseman is not a bad comp at all. So yeah, like if you're the Warriors, yeah.
And I would have wanted them to do that. So yeah, so it wasn't that big a risk on for OKC.
Yeah, so that's like a margins move. You look around and you're like, okay, we might not get to keep him. He might not be the same guy or whatever, but this is absolutely a roll of the dice that's worth it. And so yeah, I credit the process there. Full stop.
Is that trashing Pacers moment? I wish we had a way of knowing what other trades were on the table, because it felt bad at the time. It looks bad now. Like even with expiring, was that really the best they could do? I guess it did end up working out for them, like crazy good. Because Oladipo was all NBA.
Another part of it is very much that like the era of navigating that final year was kind of new. I feel like navigating a guy probably not re-signing, but only having a year left, and you want to move him for something. I feel like there was less established history of like teams taking a swing on that guy and getting him to like stick around afterwards. And I don't really know how many times it's happened post Paul George trade, like him re-signing at OKC.
I feel like everyone stays now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or it always works out. Like Kawhi didn't stay, but it worked out.
Yeah, and so like
Siakam, they did that with Siakam, and then immediately he's like, "I'll stay."
Yeah, and so like, and to be fair, the Siakam part of it, I think there was a lot more like off the books, off the record talk about him being like, yeah, absolutely, I'll resign in Indiana, whereas I don't think you got quite as much like confirmation from Paul George. But I think if there was that feeling that you're talking about where it just kind of works out, guys stay more often, more teams would have been willing to give up more stuff than Oladipo or Sabonis to take a swing on an all-star level wing.
Yeah. So ultimately, I'm impressed with OKC. I'm still iffy about the Pacers organization. Let me ask you this. Riddle me this. Who's better? Shea right now or Kawhi then?
Coming off 2019?
Yeah.
Oh. It's a testament to Shea that I'm hesitating this much. I'll say that. I think I'll go Kawhi, but I think it's easy to say, like, all of the burden of proof remains on SGA. Like, I'm watching SGA right now, and I'm seeing the flaws, and I'm seeing, like, like the imperfect things. Whereas I'm reminiscing on that version of Kawhi. I don't give a fuck about any of the problems. I'm just remember it bounced 18 times. It went in. They won Game 7. And so, yeah, I think I guess I go Kawhi, but like it's very close, and I don't know. If
Shea has the stats to match it, but my feeling is like, come on, it's Kawhi. He's better.
Come on. I mean, yeah, but like at the same time, hey, I test. Like I feel like what Shea did down the back half of the Nuggets series, incredibly impressive. Like just eye test stuff. Like I thought he locked in and carried an offensive load similar to what Kawhi was doing against. If you want to go look at like
Sixers.
Yeah, that's Sixers.
Better defense than Nuggets,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
Embiid, Simmons, Butler. I guess Tobias, JJ.
I mean, those three. Like that's three. That should be like one of the best defenses ever. You go Embiid, Simmons, Butler. Like that's three incredible defenders. Yeah, as opposed to like Christian Brown, and then like, I got the Strother switch. Give me the ball. Yeah, but I don't have beef if anyone says Shea. I think Shea probably would be the more unanimous answer.
And so, like even with hindsight, I'm not sure Shea's the best player in this trade. Like, that version of Kawhi was so good.
I mean, I'm calling it because of the health part. Like, this is you're trading on fake dollars here. Like, the money, it's not real because Kawhi, like, if he can't be healthy, how good he is doesn't matter.
And so what did we know about the health? We did not know it was degrading, right? Like, just permanently in degradation, right?
Yeah, no.
He
no.
did miss a good chunk of that Raptors regular season, I believe.
I think he hit 50 games, if I had to take a guess. Let me pull it up real quick. But yeah, like, as far as reports go, I remember his first several seasons with the Clippers, like, it kind of accumulated into this feeling we have now, this gray cloud over him being like, but you had the first injury and it was like, well, that's not good because the Spurs end of his thing, they kind of like talked about it this way as this weird, mysterious injury, and now we're seeing it rear its head again. In Toronto, hey, 60 games in Toronto. But yeah.
Let me ask you. So, picks aside, let's say you knew Shea was going to get to this level. Would you still do the trade? Would you go all in on Kawhi then and be like, without knowing health issues, would you go all in on Kawhi and be like, if we have Kawhi and Paul George plus this capable supporting cast, we think we're going to be in it for the next, like, 5 years at the very least? Or, knowing what Shea is now, would you be like, let's well, I guess, would he have Paul George then? No, he wouldn't have Paul George.
No, I don't think so. Well, certainly not,
so
because they were moved
this is
for each
too
other.
Maybe this is too funky of a hypothetical to build then.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I would probably... I guess the question you're asking is, like, would you rather... Are you taking, like, how much faith do you have in this team to recreate a competent roster around Shea in, like, 5 years? As opposed to, you have a competent roster right now, plop one of the 3 best players in the world onto it, and we get, like, 5 cracks at it, which, if you don't know anything about
one of the top 3 and then a top 15 guy, probably at that point.
It's crazy how much, like...
And the hype was, this is the best wing defending duo since Jordan and Pippen.
Yes. I mean, really, coming into that Clippers team, it's crazy how neutered my mental image is of them now, where it's just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it just did not work at all. But when they got it together, it was like, okay, this should be one of the best teams in the league. We should have all of these incredible duos sprinkled throughout the league. So we have LeBron and Anthony Davis. We have Giannis and, Chris Middleton, I guess. But then also, I think Drew Holiday was there by that point. And then Kawhi and Paul George should be in that. And part of it is health. But then the other part of it, 3-1 lead. They were healthy for, like, that's a thing that happens. So it's very tough.
But Paul George had depression in the bubble, so he wasn't 100%. Ben Simmons wasn't either, though. What team was he on at that point?
But who cares?
But yeah, so even knowing Shea, I'll still defend that trade. I'll say it made sense. It was really a safe bet to get a championship, and it just didn't work out because of health.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel bad about that process at all.
Yeah, and I wrote down, it feels worse because the Thunder, if they don't hit the Jalen Williams pick out of the park, you can stomach this a lot easier. And like you say, every time you give a team 5 firsts, the idea that they walk away with like an All-NBA player, that's a lot of picks to have chances with. But that is but
for the pick to be 13 or whatever.
Yeah, to get a guy like that at 12 or 13, it makes this whole thing feel way worse. There's no guarantee the Clippers are good enough to hit that guy on that pick, and any other team they do business. Like, it's just an incredible pick that makes this feel worse.
Yeah.
Okay. I have, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 4 or 5 honorable mentions as well of some of just in retrospect, the trades I hate the most over the last 10 years. And so this could be like damaging a team in real time, damaging their ability, like, you know, to build for the future, whatever. It's just, as I was combing through the moves that have been made in the last decade, these are the ones I walked away with. So, I guess,
honorable mention at the top. Bulls trade Jimmy Butler to Minnesota for Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, and Lauri Markkanen. And you know why I'm upset about it still?
why?
Because the Bulls gave up a first-round pick in this trade, and Zach LaVine was coming off a torn ACL and would only play like 30, 40 games before going into a contract year.
Yeah.
Where at a time where he has not proven himself at all.
Mm-hmm.
So what a
It's like if Jalen Green tore his ACL and someone was
Oh my
like,
God.
I'll give a first. But it is, at the same time, those three names, it's crazy to name three players that end up being that good, even though the Bulls benefit from none of it.
they could. Yeah.
You get an all-star, you get two all-stars and an all-defense level guy, and you get nothing out of it.
Yeah, and Minnesota got nothing out of it too.
Hey, there you go. Hey, they got
they got, what did they trade Jimmy for? Covington?
yeah, Covington and
and,
Saric. It was like the Saric Rookie of the Year thing.
What a weird thing.
Okay. Do you want honorable mentions or do you
All
want?
right, we'll start with the HMs.
So we don't need to get into this a ton. I have a couple here. I didn't put them on because it's just like it's draft night stuff, and it's really like it's unpredictable, the draft. So I'm not gonna hammer teams super hard for this.
Depending on what year. If it's post 2018, I can tell you how stupid it was at the time.
Okay. I didn't even write that one down. The Nuggets trading.
Trey for Luka? No, that's win-win, dude.
Hey, it's win-win.
That's win-win.
The Nuggets sending Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell to the Utah Jazz in separate drafts. That's pretty frustrating in retrospect.
But I think that's one you can't blame them for that, because Rudy was like just tools, like pure. What if we just drafted a huge guy?
T-John Salon, baby.
At the end of the first round, and then Donovan Mitchell, like, it's like, what if Davion Mitchell became a playoff offensive engine in year one? It was unbelievable.
I remember one of my all-time like just stupid thoughts that end up being right is I saw a YouTube clip of Rudy Gobert, quote, the Stifle Tower, in like 2000 whatever when he was getting drafted, and I was like, that's a great nickname, he's gonna stick around.
It's
and
good.
then I was
so
like,
good.
damn, it worked.
They
Similarly,
dropped that.
the Hornets sending SGA to the Clippers on draft night for Miles Bridges. I mean, this one, hey, Miles Bridges, this is one of the worst aged of all time, but it's draft night again, so
they probably didn't want to. They probably wouldn't have drafted Shea, right? They probably drafted Shea because they were doing the trade for the Clippers.
Similar. Okay, I'm done with the draft stuff. Luka for AD, I put down here just because.
Yeah.
There's no.
Well,
time.
that's an honorable mention.
Well, yeah, because like I'm doing it in retrospect. This just happened, and I don't think like.
And the Mavs are up. So.
Yeah, well, they got it was all Adam Silver made the call. So
he made the call.
Yeah, this is really it's AD and Cooper Flag, dude. Come on.
Yep.
Jordan Poole for Chris Paul. This is in the honorable mentions. It's understandable a bit because the salary cap made Golden State make some tough decisions about everything. It is really tough to be completely devoid of shot creation for a long time, though, and see Jordan Poole like still be good at like 25 years old.
This one, I don't know if you can blame the Warriors front office for. I think you blame Draymond, because Poole's stock was very high coming off that finals run, because it was like, oh my God, what if they found another Splash Brother? This guy's crazy. He's locking arms with Steph. They're doing 316. He's running around. Then Draymond punches him, ruins the team chemistry, and he plays bad that next year. And he looks like, one of the worst defenders in the league, and I'm not that good offensively.
Yeah.
And so I think his stock was at a very low point.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to blame the Warriors.
But you got to buy the dip. That's what
that one.
r/Wall Street stuff says.
You got to buy the dip.
And then the Wolves. This one, you do it because the records worked out perfectly for them to get Anthony Edwards, but the Minnesota Timberwolves attaching a first-round pick to get D'Angelo Russell and get off of Andrew Wiggins' contract, I really didn't like that. That pick ends up being 7th overall. I mean, the Warriors got Kuminga with it, but yeah, like if you could have had 7th overall pick, and then, like, you have 2 great young prospects, and it's not this weird, like, Anthony Edwards is a baby, and this team is trying to compete right now. I don't know. I'm sure Wolves fans are very happy with this version of their team, or happy enough. And you got Ant, so you don't not do it. But it is weird to attach a pick.
This one, with hindsight, is bad. But at the time, I thought Wiggins was done. I thought he was like, this is just a mid-range shot chucker who has tools to play defense. He doesn't play defense. And I thought it was one of the worst contracts in the NBA.
Their stocks are crisscrossing at this moment in time. It's kind of weird where D'Angelo Russell starts up here, all-star in Brooklyn, and Wiggins is down here, and he's like one of the worst contracts, like you said. And slowly Wiggins is like, well, I mean, his shit didn't start popping off till Golden State. But yeah, like, it's weird that Russell had that season and has become just one of, the least liked players in the NBA. I don't know about the absolute worst. And then Wiggins has become this kind of, one season of great role player shit.
To me, it was the equivalent of trading for, like, Jonathan Kuminga if he was the highest paid player in the NBA. I'm like,
yeah.
I do not. You're going to put that guy next to Steph? Come on. I don't want that.
But I'd never underestimate Draymond QB, baby. Draymond defense QB. Okay, I can get to
the non-punch of wisdom.
Yeah. Well, he punched Wiggins, and Wiggins isn't a baby, so he could could lock in and stuff. Ivica Zubac for Mike Muscala. 17 games of Mike Muscala. This is one of the, with retrospect, this is one of the ones I hate the most for sure. Where at the time,
I think people were upset at the time.
I was upset. I was like a fringe. I didn't really like the Nuggets at that point, and so I paid a lot of attention to the Lakers. And
you were a casual. You were a guy who locked in. You're a coastal elite.
Yes, yeah. Well, I wasn't on the coast at that point. The most
but you were like, God, the coasts are more elite.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so Zubac, one of 6 total centers in the league at that point, averaging 8 points and 6 rebounds at just 22 years or younger. And he was only playing like 15 minutes per game with the Lakers. And so it was clear you have like a guy here. This makes sense to at least like see more of. And yeah, they ship him out for 17 games of Mike Muscala. Oh, they got rid of Michael Beasley in this as well. And after the trade, they went 9-18, and I think they missed the playoffs that year.
Yeah, this is the crowning achievement of Magic's tenure. He was the worst. I'm not gonna be here.
I'm not gonna be here. Let me timestamp this. 132. Zubac. What's next? Oh, hey, you guys. The Vucevic trade. In retrospect, it's gotta be here. In real time, it was ugly, but now, especially when you kind of contextualize the road this set them down, it's very tough. The full package: Bulls, Vucevic, and Al-Farouq Aminu, and then the Magic got Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, a 2021 first-round pick that became Franz Wagner, and then a 2023 first, which became Jet Howard. The Bulls were 19-24 at the time of this trade, spearheaded by Zach LaVine, averaging 28, 5, and 5 on 65% true shooting. I don't hate the idea of like making a move to build around that version of LaVine.
I do. I think
you're done with it. You're like, it's stupid. I hate this.
There was never a moment, even at his best, where it was like, we need to get this guy a sidekick. I was always like, this guy can be an incredible sidekick.
Okay.
But to have a guy who was never, like, even at that point, he's probably not a top 20 guy in the NBA.
That was a crazy line. I just 28, 5-5 on 65%
how many
shooting.
games was it?
I think that was one of the rare like durable years. I swear he was at like 50 games by the time the trade happened. But if I remember correctly,
it's just. Oh wait, what are you gonna say?
If I remember correctly, they made the trade, and then LaVine started getting hurt, and so an aspect of this was also Bulls fans being like, "Well, we haven't seen them together, so we we haven't seen them on the floor at the same time. We don't know how this is gonna work yet."
Well, another aspect is like he was going into a contract year. He was in a contract year, and so people were like, "We need to prove we're serious to keep LaVine. We need to prove to him that we're willing to compete." And that was always the stupidest thing on planet Earth to me, because he's not gonna turn down a max contract for the third biggest market in the NBA. Who's gonna Sacramento? They came in and
they were in the shadows this whole time.
Yeah, they were in the. Oh no! What if they snatch it? What if he chooses them? No, or it's like unbelievable, and that was restricted. So maybe I don't even know if that was the same year. But LaVine, even at his best, it was all pure scoring, and like I don't know what that offense was. I would guess that offense was pretty bad, and so
just look it up. First in the whole league.
Whoa,
best offense of all time with Zach LaVine on the floor.
Always pure points, not much passing, no defense. And
Yeah.
so going all in to get a sidekick for him was bad process. And then paying that much for a guy who was so obviously at his peak, like 140% three-point shooting season, all-star in the East because he's a center, because they have position requirements. And
I'm selling a car that I just got to run for 30 minutes while the guy was like here looking at it. It doesn't run at any other time.
Just an unmitigated disaster. And like nobody else was going to pay that for Vucevic, and he was going to be a free agent relatively soon. So I was like, what are we doing? Who are we bidding against? We're bidding against absolutely nobody.
Yeah. And so it's tough because, this is the one where it's like, this is the first domino in, okay, we're in win now mode. Because before this, LaVine's 25 and like maybe you make some different decisions. And I guess the Bulls, it's inevitable that they're going to do something stupid with this regime in charge. But
well, this is his first move. This is his first big move. He comes in. After 20 years of Garpax, we finally vanquished 20 years of Garpax. We finally ousted the regime. We got this mystery European man.
Okay.
He found Jokic. Did you know that?
Nice. He's going to find our Jokic now.
Yeah. Oh, he just traded everything we have for Vucevic. He must have. He sees something. He's going to recreate the Nuggets on this team. Obviously, Zach is Jamal. Obviously, Vucevic, Jokic. He's got a plan. But that was the first. I was immediately mad. I was like, this guy's an idiot, and I was downvoted minus 284 in the Bulls subreddit. So.
That's so funny that your feelings are so hurt by that.
They were so upset with me. They were very upset with me.
Yeah. So it's tough. It's tough. Okay. I have a double whammy here. Same guy.
Whoa.
The same guy featured twice. Let's see. What are we at? 137. DeJounte Murray. So I'm curious how you feel about this. Which is more damaging? Obviously, the Hawks traded for DeJounte Murray first. They got him and Jock Landale, and the Spurs received Danilo Gallinari, a 2023 first-round pick from the Knicks. I don't know what happened to that. Then they have a 2025, 2026 pick swap, and 2027 first-round pick. So essentially, the next 3 years of Hawks firsts belong to the Spurs. And then the Pelicans traded for DeJounte Murray. The Hawks received Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance, Cody Zeller, a 2025 first from the Lakers, and then a 2027 first, which is the least favorable of Bucks Pelicans. So is it more damaging to give up who is immediately the best player in the trade with Dyson Daniels, and one of the better young guards in the league, obviously on defense, all defense this season, or to just sacrifice 3 of your first, just immediate, because the Pelicans, at least, none of their draft stuff is involved in this. It's all like theoretically, well, I guess the 2027 one, but it's not the same as like giving up 3 years of your shit.
I don't know, because both were such baby brain moves. Like just he made all defense in 2017. I need defense on my team, so this guy.
Trey's bad at defense. We need a
Trey's
backcourt.
bad at defense, so this guy will guard the point guards. It's like, so you trade for a guy who can't do anything without the ball in his hands, and with the ball in his hands, he's way worse than Trey. What are we doing here? It would have. So the only way it would have ever made sense was if Trey did embrace playing off ball and like DeJounte initiated the offense and Trey was running around nowhere. So you could fault Trey for like not embracing that, but DeJounte's not the best guy to sink all those assets if that's what you're going to do. DeJounte's not some like savant. Like he was always overrated because of the all defensive team, and I think he was an all-star pretty early on. I've never been super into him because he's not that great an athlete. He never got to the rim super easily, and he was just like it's mid-range, poor three-point shooting, mid-range chucking, and then the defense fell off. Like I think it was already fallen off by the time he got there.
Yeah, it was very much. I wonder how much him and Derek White overlapped.
They were together against the Nuggets.
Yeah. Okay.
I was excited about that team back then. I was like, if we get a superstar in here, these are two of the best defensive guards in the NBA.
Yeah, I think maybe like Murray. There's like this part of his defense that's tailored to be next to a Derek White, and it's like, okay, well, I can play the passing lanes now. I can do all this other defensive stuff, which like he had positives in San Antonio. It's not like it was all fake or anything, but definitely this idea that they were trading for like an Alex Caruso level defender or something, that was wrong. That was immediately wrong. And then similarly, the way you're describing how it was like baby-brained moves. The Pelicans are like, okay, we need someone to get us into our offense. We need a point guard to set stuff up. This guy's
and he also plays defense because of 2017.
And it's 2021 now, so yeah, let's do this. Or not even. It was like 22 or 23, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I don't know. I really have a hard time figuring out which of these is worse. I think the Hawks save it. It's worse for the Pelicans because the Hawks are at least going to be able to avoid giving the Spurs legitimate lottery picks, like good odds at top picks type shit, even though the Spurs, I mean, they just got number 2 this year, but that was their own pick. The Hawks pick became 14th. It's probably unrealistic that the Spurs get anything out of those Atlanta picks that is an equivalent asset to what Dyson Daniels is right now.
I'm looking. So I think DeJounte tore his ACL. He did tear his ACL with the Spurs, right?
Yes, I believe so.
I think he missed that Nuggets playoff series.
Maybe that's why I don't remember it.
Yeah. But yeah, Derek White in the series was 15 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists on 61% true shooting.
Derek White, grow your hair out again. Come on.
Playing nasty defense.
Bring the headband back.
This was DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, Rudy Gay, Bryn Forbes team. Epic. But yeah, so as far as the Pelicans go, like he was just a straight up bad player. I think we were already doing this podcast when that trade happened. I think you could go back and find our reactions. I think I was like, it's good the Hawks got rid of DeJounte Murray, but this isn't really anything. Like Dyson Daniels, he's just fine or whatever.
Yeah. I was wrong about it in the sense that, like, I remember pretty firmly planting my flag on, like, well, this doesn't feel like a we are getting better kind of move. And part of that was the Dyson Daniels thing. But I think I also kind of overestimated moving DeJounte is addition by subtraction a little bit, especially when those touches open up into Jalen Johnson possessions or something.
And again, it's just so psychotic to have Zion and be like the complimentary guy, a guard who can't shoot, can't get to the rim, doesn't play defense anymore.
My turn, your turn. My turn is really bad. My turn, horrible things happen all the time. Your turn, it's like the best possessions in the entire NBA. So I don't know, but you're a criminal, and I'm my Achilles is torn, and now this is all terrible. So
it's so funny hearing like this, like DeJounte has gone on a podcast and talked about the Spurs play mind games with you, and that's something you'll hear in Steven Jackson, that they play mind games with you. Man, it's crazy. And then the mind games are like, Pop was playing Derek White over me. And then in Steven Jackson's case, Pop was playing Danny Green over me.
I was
and
killing Danny Green in practice.
Yeah.
Let me out there, coach.
It just makes no sense that these guys were being. He was trying to brainwash everybody. It's crazy.
I know the truth. You're not going to trick me, Pop. And Pop's just like, the fuck is this guy talking about?
What? What's this guy talking about?
Derek White's really good.
He's one of the best defenders in the world.
Oh my god. Okay, so after the DeJounte double whammy, okay, Westbrook to the Lakers. I do have this here.
Oh god, it killed them.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
It's tough because in the moment, I tried to focus on trades that in the moment it was like, oh, let's see what happens. And now looking back on it, it's like, what a fucking disaster. The Westbrook trade, I think in the moment most people were like, oh, okay. And I think this was the last huzzah of big three moves, or like trying to do like, we need stars, and prioritizing that over depth. And I feel like this encapsulates it really well, because the Lakers straight up shipped out all of their depth for a star, for more top-end talent. The Lakers got Russell Westbrook, and then they got 2 second-round picks out of the deal. The Wizards received Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Montrezl Harrell, and the 22nd pick in 2021. That's Isaiah Jackson, which I'd figure... I don't know how he got to Indiana. Maybe in the Bilal deal?
He's always played for Indiana, so I don't know.
Must have gone there earlier then. Yeah, just the big consequence here is essentially one season of bad health, like an early exit with an injured Anthony Davis. They're like,
go crazy.
the entire core of our team that won the championship a year ago in rather dominant fashion, really. Like they were smoking good teams. That whole core, get them the fuck out of here. We don't need it. We're blowing it up. And then, I mean, that should truly, like, they should be condemned to a decade of mediocrity for that move, at least. Like, that should be a move that sinks you. And now they have Luka Doncic, so I guess nothing really matters.
This is why I will never praise Rob Pelinka. He's an idiot. He's not, maybe not quite as much of an idiot as the caveman or as Nico, but he is an idiot all the same. He's barely functioning. If Arturas and Nico are single cells, he's got like 87, something like that.
Oh, okay.
It was just nuts because so Westbrook went from Houston to Washington, correct?
Yes.
No?
No,
OKC.
that was it. Because Washington sent John Wall to Houston.
Oh, yes. So Westbrook is coming off a run where he was fake good. Like, he wasn't actually that good in Houston. They did their best to try and maximize him.
They were like, okay, we won't play a center. fine, Russell Westbrook. Clint Capella's dead because that's what you need. It's okay.
Get the IVs, PJ. You're playing 45 at center. Okay, you're matched. You're getting Jokic.
Hey, whatever shoes are your comfiest, break those out. We really need them tonight.
Hey, he's got a huge shoe collection. But so yeah, you are already a psychopath. If you looked at the Westbrook Rockets situation, you're like, we can recreate that with Anthony Davis and LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is sick. But I guess people maybe were like, well, wait, he went to the Wizards. He averaged another triple-double.
It's a fun run. It's a fun run. I will defend the Wizards' tenure as exciting hoops. It meant nothing, and you are stupid if you were like, I can. This is for me. We can rehabilitate this. But just one last run of do whatever you want, as much as you want, all the time basketball for Westbrook. It did give us some cool moments.
I don't want to pretend I was never a Westbrook fan, but I was out by Portland. After Portland, I was like, he's never going to do anything. I cannot
Damian
believe
Lillard's doing this. Dude, this is tough.
I cannot believe we are in year 10 and he still has learned literally nothing. Literally nothing.
Well, you got to let him be him. That's the thing.
You got to let him be him and make the 8th seed and lose to Embiid. But yeah, just a disaster because so do they let Caruso go to make money to make room for this? Is this also part of this?
I don't remember the justification for letting Caruso walk. Let me Google this. Why?
But Caruso's better than Westbrook, even at this point. KCP's better than Westbrook. Who else is in this trade besides Kuzma?
It's KCP, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, who wasn't really that good for the Lakers. And then the 22nd pick. But Kuzma and KCP, at that point, that's genuinely two very high-level role players.
Those are... Caruso's already one of the best defenders in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he shot okay for the Lakers. Maybe not. KCP is a good shooter, a movement three-point shooter, and one of the best point-of-attack defenders, one of the best screen navigating, like chasing off-ball defenders in the league. Just to throw those guys aside is nuts.
I think they let Caruso walk straight up for luxury tax purposes. That's what Sports Illustrated Lakers or whatever is saying. So yeah, I mean that's disastrous, and then this is truly just like I said, I mean it's like this is where it pivoted, I feel like, from being, super teams into good teams with depth. I guess you could maybe call like the Bucks a big three or something, but you certainly can't call the Warriors that or the Nuggets that. And so it's just it's one of the all-time just panic moves for no reason. Anthony Davis was hurt, and they took a good Phoenix team to like 6 games, right?
I have no memory of...
I swear that was the one where Schroeder played himself out of $100 million. That playoff series. I don't know if that's correct, but yeah.
What round is this?
First round.
Were they the 8th seed?
I don't remember exactly. Let me pull it up. Hold on. I think this is the 2021 Lakers?
Yeah, because they won in 2020.
Yeah, they make the first round against the Phoenix Suns. It's the 7-2 matchup.
John Calipari was on the screen when PTI's talking Knicks coach opening.
Whoa, okay.
Wait, what did you say?
It was the 7-2 matchup. Suns were the 2 seed. Lakers were the 7 seed.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's destructive in retrospect and in real time.
It disarmed a championship team,
yeah.
And it's crazy how many of these were. Is that the last one?
No, I have 3 more. None of them are to this degree. I have Nuggets sending Hartenstein to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hartenstein It goes, so yeah, Cavs get Hartenstein 2023 and 2027 second round picks, and the Nuggets got JaVale McGee. And so this was a straight up attempt at like backup center upgrade, which I thought Hartenstein was good at backup center. He was a big foul problem. Like he averaged, I think, 7 or 8 fouls per 36. But if you only need him for like 15 non-Jokic minutes, it's crazy that was like, oh my God, we have to fix this problem.
He was already advanced stats god by that point. There were a lot of dweebs in the analytics community who were all in on him. Most famously, the Reddit guy who was all in on Jokic.
He should make his name Hartenstein guy on
Reddit. He pivoted from being the Jokic guy to being the Hartenstein guy. I don't know who he's on now.
Yeah.
But that was bad. But it's crazy. Like, so how many teams let Hartenstein go for nothing? I don't know. I have no memory of him on the Cavs too. So the Nuggets let him go. The Cavs let him go. The Clippers let him go. Who else?
Let me see. Hartenstein.
The Rockets let him go.
Trade history. Because I don't know how many times he's been straight up traded versus just been allowed to walk. I guess, yeah. So the Cavs trading for him is the only time he's ever been traded. The rest of it is just like he walks in free agency. And so I guess with the Clippers, he just kind of, earned that Knicks contract and then he exploded from there. But yeah, he really wasn't getting that much burn anywhere. He got 9 minutes a game in Denver. He was at 12 minutes a game in Houston. He was at 18 for 16 games in Cleveland. And then with the Clippers, he got up to 18 minutes a game. And so, yeah, part of it was just straight up opportunity, I guess.
Crazy.
What do I have next? The Raptors getting Jakob Poeltl in red. Like, I don't understand this still.
Was this last year? When did this happen?
I think it was 2 years ago at this point. Yeah, because this was the last-ditch effort at competitive team with OG and Siakam. The Raptors get Jakob Poeltl. The Spurs get a 2024 first-round pick and 2 second-round picks. That first ends up being Rob Dillingham. So it's just weird to be like, to not, like, at such a clear crossroads where one road is like tanking and the other road is like, just shooting yourself in the foot for no reason. It's just so strange for the Raptors, who at that point were viewed as kind of a very savvy franchise, to be like, yep, we can make something happen here. And then I think they lost to like Zach LaVine 40-piece in the play-in, if I remember correctly.
Oh, is that DeMar DeRozan daughter making them miss the free throws?
Maybe. I thought that was the Heat that she did that against.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, yeah, it's just a weird move that, like, I don't know. Rob Dillingham doesn't change where the Raptors are at right now, but
no, but they didn't have to take Rob Dillingham. They could have taken Salon with that pick, right?
Ooh, no? They could have taken Klingon.
Did he go before?
Damn, if you just take Klingon, you have, I mean, most of Poeltl, I guess, already, it feels like.
Yeah. All right, who's next? I don't care about Poeltl.
The last one I have, Norm Powell to the Clippers. Was
that Gary Trent or no?
No, so that was to the Raptors. Raptors got Gary Trent and I think
Portland?
Yeah, I think Rodney Hood and Gary Trent. And the Blazers got Norm Powell. And then in the next move, the Blazers got Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a 2025 second-round pick in exchange for Norm Powell and Robert Covington. And this one's further down the list because it did help them be able to pay Anthony Simons. There was like a little bit of money involved because like Simons was 21 at that point and up for a contract extension. But still, Powell was like straight up 20-point per game scorer, like very established, good player.
Was he really in Portland?
Yeah, I swear he was like 20 points per game in Portland and Toronto. Let me pull it up.
He was always pretty good, but this one I can't claim. Well, I've always loved Covington, and I probably when this happened, I was like, Covington's literally gonna. Portland's back. Portland's here.
Yeah.
They got their Draymond.
Okay, so in Toronto, last season in Toronto, he's 16 points per game, shooting 40% from 3-on-5 attempts. He was 19.6 for 42 games in Toronto, and then he was 17 points per game for 27 games in Portland. And then, yeah, so he's like straight up 18, 19 points per game the entire time, up until he lands in Los Angeles.
Pretty good. Well, will Anthony Simons ever be as good as he is now?
Yeah. I think we'll get one Anthony Simons season where it's like, hey, he could maybe like be an all-star if we wanted to be like super biased about it or whatever.
Maybe. Just trade him for Franz, guys. Let's see what happens.
Hey, let's see what happens. Trade Jalen Suggs. Where do we want to see Jalen Suggs go?
Oh, Jalen Suggs for Josh Giddey.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it. And they wouldn't do anything.
Josh Giddey and Vucevic, because actually what the Magic need is a reunion with their 40% three-point shooting center. That kind of spacing could be huge for those guys.
Can't write this kind of stuff. You can't write it.
You can't write it. Leicester.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. We also have some legacy talk. Are you interested in that still, or do you give a fuck?
With who? With Haliburton?
Yeah, like, I don't know. You just mentioned bringing, like, doing a legacy check-in for the finals.
Well, which should we... You're going to do one more episode, or no?
Yeah, we're going to pre-record one, and then I can still go Friday and Saturday.
Okay, we could save it for one of for that.
All right.
Because we're at 2, and this is a Wednesday episode.
Yeah, you guys are honestly lucky. 30-minute intro and 2 hours. Like, this is insane. Insane value. Almost as valuable as a subscription to patreon.com/State of the League.
Whoa. What do you get?
You get an extra episode, at least one every week.
David Robinson will tell you.
Yeah, David Robinson. David Robinson, shake your ass.
Oh, come on. As a Navy man.
Up tempo means I'm going to run you into the ground.